Here's the plan. I'm going to use this original small deck as part of a larger deck. And I get to build it all with lumber I milled on my own sawmill. At the end of the last episode, I had to unfasten a joist and turn it over because it was badly crowned and the crown side was down. Right here they're good. This is crowned a little bit, but this is a deck, not a jewelry box. And you see the droop on the other end of this one. That's okay, it's where it should be. Got it wedged up, put some screws in here, and call that good. Now I don't care if those wedges fall out. I can put this other railing up. I dropped my T20 bit and couldn't find it, and I needed it to remove the old screws from the bottom of the railing balusters. So I did the next best thing and cut them off with an angle grinder. Garden rule, never move a ladder with stuff on it. I forgot about the box screws up there. So here we are picking up screws out of the grass. You can call that grass. What I'm going to do here is stand this up 32 inches above this to support that. This would have been easier if I'd put in the deck flooring first. Well, that didn't work, so naturally I tried to do the same thing again. I was paying more attention to what I was trying to do than I was paying to the camera, so I didn't notice when the battery died. But I got the railing tacked in place with no further mishap. Because both the old deck and the stairway are 4 feet wide, and because I have to have space for the rails facing each other on the stairway and the new portion of the deck, these 4-foot sections can't be 4 feet anymore, so I have to cut the ends off of each one. I stopped to think about it for a minute, making sure I was cutting off just the right amount. Measure twice, or even 3 or 4 times, and cut once. This one on the end has to be notched for a post. Right now you're probably wondering why I cut off some posts and not the others. I'm wondering why I cut off any of them. I didn't like that the first deck board was mostly unsupported at the post, so I screwed on a support underneath it. Before I fastened down that first deck board, I rechecked everything for square. Well, this corner says it's got to come this way a little. That corner says it's got to go that way a little. I stopped and remeasured everything several times, seeing how much error there was, in which direction, and whether I could live with it. Got a 3-inch difference here. How is that impossible? Any deviation from perfectly rectangular could be taken up with varied spacing between the deck boards. Any minor variation, that is, but not 2.5 inches. Well, that's too much to allow to stand. The easiest fix is to pull this corner back 2.5 inches. And screw things up here because I've already cut this off to this length. It has to be done. So I can come back 2.5 inches there, dragging that post and block. Nothing was fastened to anything on that side, so I thought it would be easy to shift the deck that 2.5 inches. Nope. Oh yeah, the center. I have to pull all those out. I'd forgotten about all those screws holding the two middle joists together. It's over here. Maybe right there. There we go. With the post moved to what I hoped was the correct location and plumb, I had to measure everything again just to be sure. The weight of 12 feet of tape was enough to move the board, which wasn't yet fastened down, so I wedged it in place to get an accurate reading. A short 12-10. A smidgen under 12 feet 10 inches on that side. Numbers I had to remember for 30 seconds while I measured the other side. That is 12.9 7/8. The hook on the end of the tape is around the post inside the rim joist, so this should be 12 feet 8 3/8. 9 3/4. I've got to come back an 1 3/8 more. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark it here and pull my 1 3/8 off of this. What's holding that is the balusters. Another ½ inch. Interlocking balusters held the frame in correct position while I drove in this screw to hold the joists in position. If I could just remember outside measurement, I wouldn't have to keep measuring it. But I don't, so I will. Remember that for me. 12.9 3/4. This bastard won't come out of the gap I stuck it in. I don't know why it doesn't hurt my knees to do that, but it doesn't. I fiddled around with this for 2 or 3 minutes trying to get the hook on the end of the steel tape out of the gap I'd put it in. I'm off an 1/8 of an inch, perhaps. I do not care. So next thing to do is tighten those up. Now, what I'm going to do out there, that first board down there was in upside down because I thought I had the notch for the post cut on the wrong side. But I looked at it again just now, and no, it'll go upright, and that little tail on the board will fit between the post and the balusters. Duh. So that's the first board. After measuring several times, I concluded that the 48-inch boards from the old deck would have to be cut down to 45 inches, the other 3 inches being where the balusters passed each other on the railings. Done. Progress is slow and unsteady, but we're getting there. It'll get done. Thanks for watching.